abstract watercolor now for about 50 years. I like white paper. I'm not afraid of it. I can't wait to start dancing on the paper with a brush and let it dry and see the veils start creating, seeing the depth start growing in these colors. I love watercolor mainly because when it dries, it doesn't look like it's manipulated. When I paint with oil or acrylic, when I draw that line, that's exactly what it's going to look like. I want spontaneity. I want it to look fresh. I want to see contrast. I want to see direction. I want to see movement. So when I hit that mop brush with a nice bright color or even gradations of it, and you stamp it, it spreads out. It just takes off. You can't paint that. And that's that movement. It's calculated when I do that. I know that I'm pushing the paint in that direction, or this direction, or this direction. And then the art head comes in to where you focus on the elements of art to make a painting work. Big section over here, several small sections over here. Contrast, lights over here, darks down here. Settle the painting in. Once you do all this crazy stuff and you go, okay, now what have I done? I have found that there's enough techniques and tools to fix any painting, whether it's applying liquid acrylic on top to kind of hold it together. So I'm using automotive tape to create straight edges, or India ink. I use a lot of black India ink. You can make black with watercolor, but it's kind of flat. India ink has got this rich feeling to it. And with opaque watercolor, you can cover it up in some areas, but still enjoy that blackness. Gradation is just awesome with watercolor. And having varying degrees of gradation so it doesn't look so primary. With watercolor, the transparency comes through and you can see behind a color. Intuitively, by doing some of this stuff, I'm still thinking about design. I have a lot of dreams at night about being in dark places, dark cities, places maybe where I've been. I grew up in Detroit. I want to go back to these places and look at some of that urban decay. And these city scenes are starting to come out of the flat brush, creating these edges. So you've got the skyline of these buildings, and then you can see underneath it. In some of the dark areas in the painting, I may go back up there with an acrylic brush, wet it, and scrub into that part of the painting in one of these templates of a circle. Blot it out, and it looks like kind of a mysterious moon. And then in more the internal or underneath parts of the painting, I use some of these other stencils that look like roots or things that are growing. And basically I'm just scrubbing out dark, maybe boring areas and creating this light coming through. The creative process, I think, is a requirement of life. Personally, how I feel when I paint, it puts me in a different world. If I'm not producing, I'm not happy. I'm depressed. Be creative. I just think it's so important. I don't care what field you're in, coming up with new concepts. That's all the brain working. You need the creative process.